Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So, unfortunately, it went very viral across many platforms and networks that the two-time Academy Award winner and actor Gene Hackman and his wife and one of their dogs were found deceased in their home in New Mexico. Now, this was a very tragic situation. The authorities, the investigators are trying to label it a freak accident, if you will, a freak incident. There was a tribute done to honor him during the Oscars because he did have a lot of achievements. He was also very well respected and loved within his community, within the acting community, and his family. Now, Gene Hackman was 95 years old. I understand he was up in the age, but there's something about the situation that really just did not make sense to me, or something that was not connecting, if you will. His wife was 65. This is why people are calling it a freak accident. How all three of them, him, his wife, and one of his dogs, ended up in the situation they were in, ended up deceased inside of the house. It's just all very disturbing. People are trying to piece things together, a timeline, what may have happened to them. Now, they said allegedly it had been roughly about 9 days, maybe almost 2 weeks since their bodies were found. And I quote, Hackman's pacemaker recorded its last event on February the 17th, which was 9 days before the bodies were found. The sheriff said it's possible that was Hackman's last day of life, end quote. A search warrant was issued so they could look through the house and find what happened to them, where their bodies were, what had happened. Now, I'm going to issue a trigger warning because these are some graphic details. I'll put some timestamps in the description box so that you can know where to skip to if you don't want to hear about this part. Now, like I said before, they got the search warrant. They found the bodies in the house. Unfortunately, by that point, both Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy, their bodies, and I quote, showed signs of decomposition, bloating in the face, and mummification of the hands and feet, end quote. And this is something that happens to a body, to the human body, when somebody has passed on and their body has been subjected to certain environmental conditions, so to speak. It's a process, a state of the body, so to speak, that, and I quote, preserves a body after death and can happen naturally when the skin dries out, according to the National Library of Medicine, end quote. Now, I'm assuming that this happened because they were inside of the house. All the doors were closed. I'm assuming no windows were open, so no fresh air could get in. So again, it created the environment, if you will, for this to happen to their bodies. This is just what I'm assuming. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a surgeon, and I'm certainly not an undertaker, so I don't know for sure. This is just what I've pieced together based off of the science that I already know. Now, as for Mr. Hackman, he was found in the mudroom. So for all of you who don't know what a mudroom is, it's basically just an area that's usually right in front of a door, usually with a screen door that you go outside. You go through to go outside the door. It's set there for whenever you come inside, you want to wipe your feet off, take your boots off, take your shoes off, hang up your jacket, umbrella, whatever, take a hat off, put your hat on the hat rack, your coat on the coat rack, so that you won't take all of the whatever from outside and bring it inside, for you to change into your inside clothes from your outside clothes before you actually go inside of the main part of the house. Allegedly, this is where they found his body. Now, of course, these aren't pictures of his mudroom. These are just pictures of random mudrooms to give you all a visual on what I'm talking about. Allegedly, he was wearing sweatpants, a long sleeve t-shirt, and some slippers. The theory was that he was going outside. He was going to take a walk. Maybe he was going to walk around the property or walk around outside in the neighborhood. I'm assuming Betsy, his wife, was going to do the same thing because allegedly she, and I quote, was found in a bathroom near the front door of the home, according to the warrant. The door to the bathroom was opened and she, and I quote, was on the ground wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt. Now, another piece of information, an important detail, and I quote, an open orange prescription bottle and scattered pills were seen on a countertop near her, the warrant says. A space heater was also seen near her head, end quote. Now, allegedly, as for the dog, allegedly it was a German Shepherd. Allegedly, and I quote, the dog was found deceased in a closet of the bedroom where her body was discovered, the warrant says, end quote. Now, allegedly, it was the sheriff that said that the dog allegedly was found, the body of the dog was allegedly found in a kennel or a crate, and that the cause of the deceasement was still undetermined, officially undetermined, allegedly. Now, they tried to rule out foul play by going through multiple different scenarios, if you will, theoreticals, if you will. Now, they said that the door to the house was, and I quote, unsecured and open, end quote, and that might have been due to their maintenance guy, so to speak, coming to the house, calling them, and trying to get in contact with them before he did the maintenance that he had to do. But then when he did not receive an answer, he became concerned, and that's when he called 911. Allegedly, and I quote, there were no signs of forced entry or that the house had been rummaged through, deputies said, end quote. Now, they also ruled out carbon monoxide because they said that there were 2 other dogs somehow that managed to survive in that house all those days by themselves. After what happened, they were also in the house. They did not end up deceased. Allegedly, there was another dog outside, if I'm not mistaken. But the other 2 dogs, like I said before, who were allegedly in the house, survived up until the authorities got there. They also claimed that they didn't find any evidence of carbon monoxide poisoning or a leak or an issue with any of the pipes. Now, they did allege that they found a red tag for a minuscule leak, which was issued by the gas company, but they said that was not a lethal amount. One of the last things that they said was they collected 2 cell phones, that they were going to try to analyze some cell phone data and try to piece together a timeline so that they can figure out what happened from start to end. People have already speculated what they think actually happened. Believe it or not, some of these people are better than some detectives out here on the internet. But the working theory at the moment that's been going around is they think that this man had a medical emergency, that something happened to him, that he collapsed in the mudroom, and that whenever Betsy realized what happened to him, she ran to the bathroom to get the medication. They're assuming that that's the medication she was getting to help him with whatever it is he was dealing with, that unfortunately then she collapsed. Or maybe she accidentally hit her head on the space heater or collapsed, and then the space heater hit her in the head, and that's how she ended up passing away. And then after both of them passed away, for some reason, they had already put the dog in the kennel that was in the bathroom's closet, and unfortunately, the dog basically starved out is what people are piecing together based off of the details we have at the moment. Now, are there some people that still think that foul play could have been a thing? Yes, there are. A lot of people just think it was a freak accident, like I said before, a very unfortunate freak accident, and that people are trying to mentally fix some kind of other solution to slap on what happened because they don't want to come to grips with the fact that this was just a really unfortunate event that took place. Now, do I personally think this was odd and they do need to investigate very heavily to make sure there was no foul play? Absolutely. And if they don't find anything, then we'll just have to grieve over the fact that this was an unfortunate freak accident, like I keep saying. Now, something else that didn't quite sit right with me was the response from his daughter, Leslie Ann Hackman. Now, the usual statement was given to start off with that they were grieved, that the family, the friends, loved ones were grieved by the loss of this man and his wife, that the family was still processing this news. Now, allegedly, Leslie Ann felt like they passed away due to a carbon monoxide leak, even though, like I said before, they tried to rule that out. She still thinks that may have been what happened to the 2 of them and the dog that was in the closet in the kennel. Now, she claims she had a close relationship with him, that there was nothing wrong with him. She claimed that he was in good health, that she understood that, once again, he was up in the age, so to speak, but that his health was good. She had a good relationship with her stepmother, Betsy, that Betsy went out of her way to look out for and take care of Gene Hackman. She even stated that he would do exercises like Pilates and yoga to stay and remain in that good health. Then she goes on to say that she, and I quote, was not terribly shocked because he was 95 years old. Once again, she talked about how they were close, but apparently not close enough to maintain consistent contact because apparently, she hadn't spoken to him or Betsy nor saw them in months. Now, again, she gave a shout out to Betsy, her stepmother, saying that she took very good care of him, that their marriage was a good, happy marriage, that they were happy together. which was good. And I'm glad for them. I'm glad that they had each other, that they were taking care of each other, and that they had each other in those last moments. And I thought that it was very nice of her to acknowledge Betsy the way that she did. Although besides that, her response to this comes off as very nonchalant to me. I don't know about you all, but that's what it comes off to me, because what do you mean? You didn't see him. You hadn't talked to him in months before it led up to this. I understand she's an adult. She has her own life. She lives in a different state. But you have a father who's in his 90s. Like I said before, it was good that he was well looked out for by his wife and that he was still in good health even though he was in his 90s. But I am befuddled as to why she still thought, for whatever reason, that it was okay to not keep, like I said, consistent contact with her father and with her stepmother. And before anybody says, oh, well, maybe she was busy, maybe she couldn't get out there to New Mexico where they were, a text message takes 2 seconds. Literally. A phone call, just a minute. She could have called them, say, hey, how you doing? Y'all all right? I'm just checking up on y'all, making sure everything's okay. You good? You good? Great. I'll talk to you later. Literally a minute. A FaceTime is a button away. There were no excuses for her to go months, even if it was just, and I quote, a few months. We don't even know how long that could have really been. But there was no excuse for her to go even that long without contacting her father. I don't care what anybody says. Now, for anybody who insists that I'm doing too much or overreacting by saying that she should have kept in constant contact with her 95-year-old father, maybe if she would have kept in contact with him, she would have been the first person to know something was wrong when he wasn't answering the phone. Whenever he stopped making contact, point period blank, just like the maintenance guy. Whenever he was trying to get in contact with them from outside of the house, I'm assuming, whenever he was trying to do the maintenance that he had to do and they were not answering and he became concerned, that could have been her possibly, 8 days sooner, 7 days sooner? Oh, I've been calling my dad, calling him. He's not picking up the phone. Betsy's not picking up the phone. I need to either send somebody over there, send the cops over there to do a wellness check, or try to get down there myself because this is not normal because we usually talk regularly. But that didn't happen because, again, she didn't talk to him regularly or frequently for that matter, clearly. I'm just imagining in my head that if she had kept contact with them regularly, frequently, maybe the authorities would have been able to get to their bodies way sooner than what they were, maybe even a week sooner. And they may have even been able to find out more of what happened to them. I would imagine it's hard to conduct an autopsy on a body that's already mummified. Allegedly. I'm going to be real honest with y'all. I'm giving her the side eye for that. I'm questioning her for that for real. Anyways, though, like I said before, she's waiting for the full investigation to be conducted so that they can get down to the bottom of what actually happened. Like I said, maybe even just piece together the timeline. Y'all all let me know what y'all think about all of this down in the comments below respectfully. I do have my podcast on Patreon back up. I had been taking a break from it for a while now, but I have it back up and going again. So if you're interested in hearing some of the things that I can't talk about on YouTube, that it's a little too controversial for YouTube, if you will, some theories that I like to dive into, some people might think is crazy, some people might want to listen to, for $1 a month, please check that out. Like I said, if you can. Now, I'll have one episode up for this subject and one episode up for the Angie Stone subject, what happened to her. Anyways, though, y'all let me know what y'all think about all of this down in the comments below respectfully. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all all have a very blessed, beautiful, and safe day.